production. And to start with, I would like first to introduce everyone. Of course, we are very thankful that our panelists are already on board. They would be sharing their most valuable insights on how are we going to tackle on boosting the nature positive production. But in this morning session, we would first be tackling about the issues, and we would be clustering that later on into the different groupings depending on the different insights that would be forwarded by our experts and practitioners in organic agriculture related endeavor. Without so much introduction, firstly, we would like to request our panelists, okay, to mention your, of course, your affiliation and how would you like us to address you. Okay, so may we now first call on Sir Romel Solidum for the brief introduction. Sir Romel, the floor is yours. I saw him already earlier, but perhaps he's not yet able to join our breakout session. And we can now move forward first to Dr. Leticia Afuang. Ma'am Leticia Afuang. Oh, unfortunately, they are not yet in. How about, may I call on Ma'am Cherry Abrigo?
Good morning po.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes. So thank you. Really grateful for having me here. Umpisa pa lang dami ko na natutunan. So I'm really looking forward to this discussion. And first, one of the first thoughts I had pagkakita ko sa action tracks is malamang sa malamang i-discuss din natin yung ibang action tracks dito kasi it cannot be
Mhm.
compartmentalized din. So I'm really looking forward to sharing not just my experiences but also learning from all of you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ma'am Cherry. And now, may we have Ma'am Jennifer Viloria?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm actually calling from London. Na lockdown ako dito, so it's very late night. So medyo hi again. Sorry, I think I was pulled back into the main room. Um, okay pa lang ba? I mean, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes.
We are sorry that
Um,
we all turned, we went back to the plenary, but we are now back for 1 hour here at the breakout session. Please continue, po.
yeah, sorry. Thank you very much for that. I'm really honored to be here. I'm representing our company, Isla Ventures. We are a management and investment advisory firm focused on rural development. So yeah, I mean, we convened another dialogue about May 26 with UPLB as well as part of that dialogue. So very excited to be here again. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
po.
Ma'am Jenny. And thank you very much, Sir Noel. Yan ang kagandahan ng naka-online. Hindi natin alam minsan kung saan tayo dinadala ng ating mga ah, technical people, no? So, sorry for that. But then we can continue on. We are now with, is Sir Romel around already? Balikan muna natin sila. Sir Romel. Okay. So, wala pa. We go again with Sir Miko. I saw you already. Hi.
Hello.
Yes, we hear
Hi.
you.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Really glad to be here amongst, of course, a lot of experts. I'm from the Ramon Aboitiz Foundation, and we're really slowly integrating food in our tree growing program. Really glad to be here, and I hope to learn a lot from everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Migo, and we are also very fortunate to have you in our session. May we call now Ma'am Rowena? Buena?
Hello, ma'am. Good morning. I'm Rowena
Hi.
Buena. So I am from Masipag. This is a network of farmers organization pushing for and working on sustainable agriculture and biodiversity conservation. I am also with the Intercontinental Network of Organic Farmers Organization as Secretary for Asia. So INOFO is a global organization representing farmers organization, and also we are the farmer wing of the International Federation of Organic Agriculture. Thank you and good morning to all.
Thank you very much. And then we also have Sir Christopher Valiente.
Good morning po to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and collaborate with you all. So my name is Christopher S. Valiente, working in the Department of Education in the Bureau of Curriculum Development. I am a senior education program specialist and one of the in charge of spearheading the development of curriculum of the learning area of technology and livelihood education, which includes the agri-fishery arts as one of the components of the learning area. Yun lang po, maraming salamat po for the invite.
Thank you very much, Sir Christopher. And we will now go back first to, I saw Ma'am Letty Afwang already here. Kindly introduce yourself, ma'am. Ma'am, you are muted po.
Good morning, everyone. I'm from the Animal Biology Division of the Institute of Biological Sciences. I'm a conservationist, a wildlife biologist, herpetologist. I've been doing teachers trainings of integrating agriculture and sustainable biodiversity conservation through many years to a lot of teachers with DepEd. I'm also involved with the Mindoro Biodiversity Conservation Foundation, and most recently, CIRCA, the College of Agriculture, and myself got involved with the training of teachers in Busuanga. I continuously do this in all facets, both in terrestrial and marine ecosystems. Thank you.
And we would really be expecting so much sharing on biodiversity from Ma'am Letty. Thank you very much for that. Now, may we give the floor to Datu Reynaldo Gil Lumarda. Sir, the floor is yours. Okay, I saw his name earlier, but we're not yet sure if he was successful to join us. How about Sir Romel Solidum? Are you here? Okay, while waiting for them to be on board, I would like first to introduce your Action Track team family that would be assisting you in our very dynamic discussion this morning until this afternoon, of course. I would like to call on Sir Noel D. Lumbo. Hi, sir.
Hello po. Good morning, everyone. I am Noel Lumbo from the Institute of Animal Science here in UP Los Baños.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Of course, our colleagues from the School of Environmental Science and Management, our former First Lady, Dr. Patricia Ann J. Sanchez.
Hello po. Magandang umaga. Nice to see
you. So she would be leading our documentation team together with our colleague also from SESAM, Dr. Lucelle E. Q.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lucelle Kui po from SESAM. Nice to see everyone.
Thank you po, Ma'am Kui. Now I know how to pronounce your surname. And now we also have our important communication link providing us information on the chat box and from the Facebook live streaming, Ma'am Cherry S. Padilla.
Good morning po. I am Cherry from the School of Environmental Science and Management.
Of course, we also have our support family team in our action track, our Ma'am Sinang Bayan Forester Rowena Cabahug.
Hello, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat from the UPLB Institute of Agroforestry po.
Thank you, Ate Weng. And also we have our, before we proceed, I would like first to give the floor to one of our important panelists as well, Mr. Romuel Solidum. The floor is yours, sir, for the introduction. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Romel Solidum from the Provincial Government of Negros Occidental Organic Farming Development and Promotion Division under the Office of the Governor, serving the organic farmers in Negros Occidental.
Welcome, sir. And we will be our insights. And we also have our UPLB colleagues helping us, Ma'am Nancy Tandang.
Hello po, good morning po. Nancy Tandang po mula po sa Institute of Statistics, UPLB. Good morning po.
Thank you, Ma'am Nancy. And I think she's my batchmate, Ma'am Lot Pua.
Hi. Good morning po from the Office of the Vice Chancellor for Research and Extension, UPLB. So, magandang umaga po ulit.
Thank you, Ma'am Lot. Okay, and we are very fortunate to have everyone participating. We are 38 in this particular breakout room on Action Track 3. May I request Doc Pat to already share screen, our Jamboard. And while she's doing that, I would just like to give everyone a brief background on what is really our task here on the discussion of our Action Track 3. So basically, what is the concern on boosting nature positive production? Our focus here is to optimize environmental resource use in food production, processing, and distribution. So we are still aligned on the concept of food systems. And how do we do that? We would like to deliver this and realize this now and in the very near future through the reduction of biodiversity loss. That's why we have here Dr. Letty Afuang. Also, reduction in pollution, water use, soil degradation, and greenhouse gas emissions. And all of our panelists are respectable in this field, whether in the scientific one or in the promotion of the technology and practice of reducing all of these environmental impacts. More so, in this particular session, we are to deepen our understanding of the constraints and opportunities facing smallholder farmers and small-scale enterprises along the food value chain, because we know the champions of our food systems are really our farmers. And we would like to capacitate them. And how to do that? We have to strive to support food systems governance. The technology is there, but what might be lacking is on the policy side. So hopefully later during our whole day discussion, we could also tackle about some policy advocacy concerns. And this different support food system governance should be able to realign incentives to reduce food losses and negative environmental impacts. And with that as an introduction, we would now be starting our very active discussion. And may I kindly ask as well, we can use our bilingual. We can speak in Filipino, we can also speak in English. Okay? So para mas maliwanag po, ipagpaumanhin sapagkat kami pong tagapagpadaloy ngayon ay yun lamang po aking nauunawaan. Pag ako'y dinala sa Norte, ako'y dinala na sa gawing Mindanao, wala po akong nauunawaan, kaya baka nauunawaan ng aking ibang mga kasamahan, you can interpret for me. So, ano po ang ating tutunguhin? Ano po ba ang pinakamatindi natin ngayong kinahaharap na suliranon? Perhaps we can now move on to the page 2 of our Jamboard. So, ano po sa tingin nyo, sa inyong mga organisasyon, ang pinakamatindi nating kinakaharap ngayong usapin? tungkol dito sa boosting nature positive production. At para kayo po ay aking mabigyan ng pansin, you can now use your raise hand, and habang may nagsasalita po, you can also use the chat box. At palagay ko po ay kailangan kong magtawag sapagkat, okay, baka po mag-iintay tayo hanggang 10:17, pagagalitan tayo. Now I see Ma'am Letty unmuted herself already. Yes, Ma'am Letty, the floor is yours. Anong pinakamatindi nating usapin o problema?
Boosting nature positive production. I have been highly influenced by Dr. Manny Reyes and Kiss the Ground thing, and I've been using this for my classes. When we destroy the living systems in the soil, we destroy the life in it, and we somehow greatly lessen the capability of the soil to sustain life. Kasi ang fertility at nutrients ay nandyan. God has made the whole system in a cyclical manner para everything supposedly is meant to be unlimited. Unlimited in a sense that there is a cycling of nutrients always, there is cycling of water, there is cycling of carbon, phosphorus, and everything that is necessary so that the inorganic can be used by the producers or the ones that produce food, and the organic things that they produce are used by the consumers. So yung balanse nun, dapat maintindihan natin. Tapos kailangan alam natin na ang buhay sa lupa ay maraming, as in sangkaterbang, there is a lot of biodiversity right there in the soil. Many of them we don't see. These are mostly the decomposers, the invertebrates, and everything. But once we carelessly throw, like for example, trash like water or chemical trashes, then we kill them all. So sa halip na yung natural cycle ng production, consumption, decomposition na magbabalik ng lahat ng unlimited resources na naaantala, napuputol, nakakalimutan natin na akala natin ang lupa ay lupa lang, inorganic or dead, no? But there is so much life there that will sustain the bigger life that we are. The trees and the humans, yung mga macro life na nakikita natin, actually dependent sila sa micro life na hindi natin nakikita. In fact, kahit sa oceans the bigger biomass are on the microscopic plankton, no? Yung zooplankton and phytoplankton. Most of this yung phytoplankton ay talagang halaman yan, ano? Tsaka yung mga algae. Without those living things that we don't see, patay ang lupa. Hindi tayo makakagawa ng positive production that we say sustained life. Kaya we are into organic agriculture kasi ang binuboost dito is let's take care of the base, and the base is the soil.
Thank you very much po, Ma'am Letty. In fact, marami pong sumasang-ayon sa inyo from Russell Cosico, from Ronald John. So ang concern natin is less appreciation on the soil health, as if we are taking the soil for granted. And in fact, really, the soil is the source of our life. Now I give the floor to Sir Christopher. Thank you very much, Ma'am Letty, and those who are reacting in the chat box. Very good po. So, Sir Christopher?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Am I recognized now?
Yes, you are po. The
this is just a rejoinder to what Mama Puang has said. Ano po? I think we should articulate here also the 4 P's or the 4 principles of organic agriculture, particularly the principle of health, which articulates the healthy soils. Ano po? Kasi tama po yung sinabi ni Mama Puang, the soil is the foundation, the soil is the base. So magkakaroon lamang tayo ng healthy plants and animals, and of course healthy people through healthy soils. And I'd like also to underscore the partnership which na-mention po kanina that the government agencies, particularly the Department of Agriculture, the TESDA, and as DepEd should harmonize the programs and policies para po magkaroon tayo ng equal footing po ba sa pag-implement ng organic agriculture. That would be all, ma'am, and thank you.
Yes, and thank you very much for agreeing to the idea of our first speaker, Ma'am Letty. And likewise, maganda rin yung kanyang idinagdag pang usapin natin. There should be a concerted effort. There should be convergence of effort of all the different government agency, which is towards boosting the nature positive production. Because right now, we should be emphasizing these are the problems, that there is non-concerted effort. Okay, thank you very much. Now we go to Ma'am Rowena. And before I do that, I would also like to recognize those in the chat box. They are all agreeing that there is the occurrence of environmental degradation that really affects boosting the nature positive production. Ma'am Rowena, then Ma'am Jenny later on.
Yes, ma'am. I agree po doon sa binanggit ni Ma'am Afwang regarding doon sa soil health na sobrang hindi siya nabibigyan ng pansin. But I would like to add na bilang farmers organization, ang pinakamalaking issue, pinakaharap na magsasaka sa ngayon ay climate change. Napatunayan natin yan lalo na dun sa nakaraang 5 bagyo na hindi exempted ang mga magsasaka sa impact ng climate change, ng pagbaha, ng flooding, ng severe drought, katulad ng nilagay ko sa chat box. At syempre yung landlessness, karaniwan yan sa mga maliliit na magsasaka or dun sa kahit sa bigger farmer na hindi pinapayagan karaniwan yung mga farmers to shift or to transition into organic agriculture dahil nga sa kanilang galing ng input. So, yan talaga yung mga challenges nila. And sa tingin ko, hindi rin siguro pwedeng bigyan din ng pansin ng UPLB. Hindi natin masyadong napapag-usapan yung true cost accounting. Na ano ba talaga ang totoong cost ng conventional farming, hindi lang sa mga magsasaka, kundi sa environment, sa health, yung may mga ganyan na kasing ginagawang pag-aaral sa buong mundo sa true cost accounting. Baka maganda din na panahon, high time na ito ay bigyan pansin at maging mapopularize lalong-lalo na sa ating mga farmers. Ayun po. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that insights, Ma'am Rowena. Panawagan, marami po kaming dito na kasama na taga UPLB, true cost accounting. So yun talaga yung kulang natin. And aligned with that, climate change is a panacea already, but we are not yet really having a proactive action. In fact, sinabi rin kanina about lack of policy ng ating mga gobyerno regarding to how to address really the problem of soil health. This was already written as well earlier by Dr. Ed Keblatin-Heiser. Okay, before I continue on, nakapakasaya. Ang dami na pong nagbibigay ng mga pananaw. May I have the floor for Ma'am Jenny?
Hello.
Then Ma'am Cherry. Okay, Ma'am Jenny.
Hi. Yeah, for me, from the business perspective, the biggest challenge really for smallholder farmers and micro SMEs is the presence and the dominance of large agribusinesses that who are aggregating pretty much everything and ensuring that smallholder farmers don't really almost succeed in this food system. So I look at, for me, it's more of the localization of production and consumption should be the priority, and ensure that, of course, take into account all those inputs, mga natural inputs and all the natural farming methodologies. Because the real problem in the entire system with big agribusinesses is really the stability of prices, because it's really hard to stabilize prices when you're moving produce from one area to another, so especially in long haul destinations. So in order to achieve what we're saying about availability, accessibility, affordability, and safety of food, we would really look at localizing food production and consumption, ideally. That way we can feed the planet of 10 billion people or 9 billion people.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Jenny, for that insights. In fact, no, I like this group. We are still talking about issues, and yet you are very positive, no? Kasi you are all providing how to address this one. But when we have to sit here, as if we have not yet really realized localizing the food production, and as such, we have the extensive problem on the food miles, because if there is the local production already being consumed in that particular community as well, we are also addressing how to reduce the carbon footprint. Thank you very much as well for the idea, Ma'am Jen, that there is really also the problem on this different multinational companies somehow controlling our food systems. That's why this is agreeable to the statement provided by Dr. Angelina Bustos, Advocacy and Empowerment for Small-Scale Strategies at the household and community levels. Very nice. So everybody is really engaging. Now, may I have the floor for Ma'am Cherry?
Yun, maraming salamat po. So, I forgot to introduce myself din pala, and in relation to my answer, says Shereza, we are both interacting very closely with the consumers and the producers that we are helping, partnering with, really the marginalized of the marginalized farmers, the IP farmers nasa gitna ng mga kabundukan. And I have 2 points to share sana. One is on the side of the producer, yung mga challenges nila and how the consumers greatly affect their situation or organic production in general. So sa mga katutubo, ang masasabi ko, isa sa mga nakita ko sa mga answers sa chat box is landlessness. And it's so true. Yung sa landlessness po, na karamihan ng farmers natin nakikiupa lang. Pero sa mga katutubo, it's actually the opposite. They have a lot of land. Bundok-bundok ang kanilang sako dahil sa ancestral domain. So nandun lahat ng land, and they have this indigenous knowledge of how to take care of it, and they are organic producers by default. However, dahil nga sa medyo secluded sila and maybe lack of access to support, not just from the government, but also from other institutions like NGOs, hindi masyadong na-realize yung potential nila for organic farming, for ecological production of our food. And that's what we are trying to promote, to advocate for now, is helping them and helping the environment as well, because they are in charge of a large patch of land, and also by not affecting the environment kasi ang laki-laki ng land ng ating mga katutubo. But yeah, one of the main gaps, I think, is, yes, we have these IP farmers waiting for us and having the land that we are looking for, that is also conducive to organic production. But the consumers, us here in the cities, sa totoo lang, napakalaki ng impact ng demand. Because Ma'am Veloria mentioned na isa sa mga challenges, and it's really true, ramdam na ramdam din namin yan, yung mga big producers, they can lower their price, they have total control of the prices, of how the food is produced. Pero sa totoo lang, they are driven by the demand. So these big companies can be controlled depending on the demand. Siyempre, sasabay sila sa demand kasi nandun ang pera, which is the nature of their business, because they are a profit-centered business. So if we tackle the the choices, the consumer choices, and if we educate the consumers, and that's what we are trying to do in Shereza as well. If we educate the consumers and hopefully change their mindset and change their demand from just cheap, sa ngayon karamihan sa atin, also siguro sa ano na rin ng buhay, they choose cheap than healthy. Most of us. And hindi natin masisi, pero we can work together, the government, the NGOs, CSOs, and social enterprises, even the businesses, if we can work together to make healthy food, organic food available, and the first choice of food ng ating mga consumers, then I think a lot of things will follow through. After that, the big companies will also ship based on the demand. And kasabay nun, matutulungan din natin yung ating smallholder farmers na organic by default. Kasi lalaki yung market natin.
Yes. Thank you very much, Ma'am Cherries. Is Doc Rose available? Wala pa? Hindi pa siya nakakapasok ulit. So, thank you very much for that very nice insight, Ma'am Cherries, for the importance of considering indigenous peoples and their problems on landlessness. So that is something that we really need to ensure that they are, as mentioned by Ma'am Cherries, these indigenous people are actually producing organic food by default. And when we encourage them to produce organic food for us, then we will also be improving their ways of lives and their overall yung life nila. I think si Ma'am Leticia is also raising his hand. Or not?
Yeah, I am.
Sige po, please.
Do I have the privilege?
Go ahead po.
Kasi as a biodiversity conservationist, I always emphasize that everybody has to be conscious about the rest of the other living systems in order to sustain life and productivity. In fact, the problem of climate change is actually a consolidation or an output of a lot of other things that we have done to threat and destroy our ecosystems. One is excessive habitat conversion and destruction. Second is the introduction of the many invasive species that destabilize the natural living systems in the given areas. Third is our uncontrollable population growth. And then one of the things that I hate most is pollution. Plastic everywhere. That's only solid waste, no? But there are other waste pollutants that we have been creating. And overuse or overexploitation of the natural resources. Everything has led to such a condition that our forests are gone and the forests are supposed to be absorbing the carbon dioxide. So the carbon dioxide and the other greenhouse gases continue to stay on without being controlled by the vegetation that is supposed to be controlling them. And so the temperature warms up, no? So cyclical and parang hen and egg yan order. But we are caught now in this big problem of destabilized and disturbed ecosystems that lead to insecurity, food insecurity. We are always focused on ourselves. Parang tao lang ang kailangan mabuhay. Hindi dapat ganon ang ating iisipin, no? But what we should also do is out of this e-dialogue, sana maka-organize tayo ng moving groups. Meron dapat group na makakapag-organize ng kapag tinuruan natin ang mga tao to prevent producing pollutants like plastics and others, dapat may taong sasalo para ma-process yon into something positive. Kapag tinuruan natin ang mga tao na mag-revert into organic agriculture, dapat may grupo ng business people who are going to facilitate the marketing so that those who take the risk of planting and taking the risk of investing on organic agriculture would have an assurance of market that would sustain their livelihood. Dapat meron tayong ma-organize sana na multifaceted dapat ang action plan natin, pero each taking a specific role and everyone accountable to ensure pati yung ginagawa ng IPs, no? Oo nga, ang dami nilang lupa, ang lawak ng lupa. I've been to these people, and ang sabi nila dati is nagbigay ang DENR ng mga puno para itanim nila sa sa bundok. Pero hanggang namatay lang yung mga seedlings kasi hindi naman sila sinustain para magtanim. Wala naman silang effort or sustainability. So yung problem or program has to be a holistic approach. Pero it's easier said than done. Sana dito sa sa platform natin ito is we can emphasize strong partnership with a specific role or tasking, and each one is responsible. I do agree with the localization of production, no? Japan has localized productions eh. Parang yung dorm na tinitira namin, yung kanin na kinakain namin, tinatanim nung dorm nung nag-aalaga sa amin sa dorm, doon sa likod ng bahay niya. And so it rolls over and it becomes useful. Natural farms, like for example, yung Coron Natural Farms, dapat mag-expand. Dapat maraming ganun para maituro natin kung paano mabubuhay ang isang magsasaka na magpa-practice ng agriculture at conscious siya sa ecosystem na lahat ng buhay doon ay mahalaga at hindi siya maninira. Kasi ang IPs, lagi nating sinisisi sa pagsusunog, sa destruction of the forest ecosystems. But have we even asked na actually yung bago pumutok yung Pinatubo, they were thriving there very comfortably. Ang tagal for how many years? Sustainable ang agriculture nila, no? Pero lagi silang nasisisi sa mga bagay na hindi naman pala nila kasalanan. What is our big problem is the manipulation of the market and the big farming system. Sana sila ang tumulong or matap natin sila para tumulong at i-organize ang mas maliliit na mga magsasaka.
Okay. Thank you very much, Doc Afwang. So, napakaganda ng inyong insights sa actual na ginagawa ng ating mga indigenous people, and marami nga silang lupa, but I think they need more research na pwede nating sabi nga dito sa chat that talagang very important talaga that we will help in IPs in providing us more organic produce. So I think wala pa rin si Doc Paelmo, no? So I'll have to continue facilitating this portion. So do you have any other concerns before we will do the clustering? Because in 10:30 we'll be going back to the main plenary session. If meron pa. Yes, Ma'am Buena.
Kaya na po, sorry.
Yes, sorry.
Ano kasi yun ng anak ko, hindi ko na napalitan. Anyway, no, sige po. With all due respect sa UPLB, no, dahil ako po ay isang alumni, PS Agriculture po, major in agronomy at Master of Management in Business Management po, UPLB pareho. Palagay ko po yung pagpapalakas ng extension work ang baka pwede ding i-consider, no, dahil ito po alam ko isa yon, no, sa ng ating dialogue ay kung paano din makakatulong ang university at sa mga farmers organization para dito sa pagpapaunlad ng organic agriculture na maibalik sana din, no? Kasi nung undergrad ako, nag-extension talaga kami, pumupunta kami sa lugar ng mga magsasaka, inuunawa namin ang kalagayan nila at doon namin nakikita na kung ano talaga yung tunay, no, na problema sa agrikultura. Baka yun din yung pwedeng isang tingnan ng UPLB bilang isang academic institution at syempre research institution na mapalakas ulit yon. Kasi dati talagang malakas at paganda yung naging roots. So, kaya ako bilang isang graduate ay na ako magtrabaho sa NGO kasi nakita ko talaga, no, yung benefits nung meron kang ano sa extension work. So yun siguro, yun lang naman yung gusto ko na i-point out. Ayun, salamat.
Salamat po, Ma'am Weng, sa iyong binigay na talagang pag-emphasize. Meron tayong mga teknolohiya, subalit ang problema nito, hindi nakakarating sa ating mga end user. Kasi po nga, kulang tayo ng mga extensionist, no, sa ating, hindi lang sa UPLB, pero maging sa ating bansa. Kulang na kulang po talaga. At dahil po dyan, napakarami na po ng ating mga napag-usapan at lahat po ng mga nasa chat box ay pipilitin din namin mamaya na mailagay dito sa ating Jamboard, no? At sa ngayon, dadako na tayo sa loob ng 5 minuto. Pipilitin po natin magkaroon ng paggugrupo ng lahat ng mga usapin. At ito po ay sa tulong pa rin ng ating mga documentor. So dito sabi natin, merong cycle of life na napuputol, no, dahil hindi nabibigyan ng importansya yung ating lupa. Ito maaari po sigurong ano ang kasama nito? Balance in nature, di po ba? Environmental degradation na maaari nating tingnan na ang lahat ng mga bagay na ito ay pang ecological concern. No po? Yan. At yung iba po, may mga climate change ding binanggit. So pwedeng sila po ay isang grupo. Sa tingin po ninyo ay tama po ba yung paggugrupo natin sa mga particular na aspeto na yun bilang ecological? So yun po yung pasimula. Meron ba kayo po sa ating mga panelists? Ano pa kaya ang isang grupo ng pwede nating maging paksa ng usapin do sa mga issues? O, so isa ay ecological. Meron ba pong nagbanggit tungkol sa about productivity and economic? Alin po kaya dito sa ating mga napag-usapan? Okay, parang hindi po natin napag-usapan ito, no? Yung meron palang isa, no? Productivity comparing to conventional agriculture. Yon. So pwede siyang pumasok about sa economic. Yan. So tayo po ngayon ay dadako na sa paggugrupo-grupo. At habang ginagawa niyan, iniimbitahan ko po ang lahat ng ating inampalan. Magbigay din tayo ng mga ideya natin pa na pwede nating pagsama-samahin. So, wala pang nagre-raised hand. So, mayroon tayong ecological, may economic. Kanina, matindi ang balitaktakan tungkol sa mga empowerment policy side. Okay? So, yan.
Ma'am?
Yes, sino po ito?
Si Letty Afuang po.
Yes, Ma'am Letty.
I think, ma'am, isa rin sa pinaka-importanteng side nito is education. We have a lot of resources, pero hindi nakakaintindi ang ating mga kababayan. But I think only of educating the old ones, but educating them at their young age. Bata pa sila, dapat maintindihan na nila ang value systems ng being part of nature, being a good steward, and being respectful of the other life systems out there. Being a good servant, being a good person who cares not only for himself but for the ecosystem and for the other people around. Yung parang there has to be kind of a change somehow doon sa ating educational system na ma-value at ma-emphasize natin ang proper value system for the ecosystem, for the environment, and the other resources around us. So that, alam nyo, sa college, dinatnan ko ang UP, parang agriculture and forestry are the least liked courses. Ang pangit ng perspectives ng mga tao tungkol sa agriculture. And we had to fan up and we had to promote these courses para ikuhanin ng mga estudyante, no? Ang gusto ng estudyante, maging biologist, maging doktor, maging engineer, maging IT specialist. Kakaunti kaunti ang pumupunta. Dapat mali, dapat baliktad. Mas gusto dapat ng estudyante ang maging agriculturist para ma-ensure at makatulong siya sa sustainable productivity of the land. Kapag ganyan ang attitude ng mga bata at mga tao natin, walang magugutom sa Pilipinas. Kasi mahal natin ang lupa at mahal natin ang ating kapaligiran, ang buhay na nagsusustain sa bawat buhay ng tao ay nasa lupa at nasa halamanan at nasa... Hindi lang naman kasi basta agriculture is tilling the soil and planting in it and, extracting it to be productive. But it has to be a holistic approach of loving it and it loves you back so that the productivity is sustained. Dapat bata pa ang bata, alam na niya yun, naiintindihan na niya yun. Part siya ng isang malaking ecosystem of life. And dapat may pagmamahal siya.
Yan. So talagang yan ang advocacy ni Ma'am Letty, no? Really to inculcate in our curriculum. Bata pa, turuan na. Kaya din, no? Nandito rin ang ating representative, Sir Christopher Valiente. Siya ay taga-DepEd and really in charge of this different curriculum development on having agriculture to be appreciated at a very young age. So we can also term that making agriculture as agri-cool, C-O-O-L. Sure, agriculture.
Nice.
So I'll type that, no? How can we make it as agri-cool, agriculture? Sometimes we need to think of some very enticing words. So thank you very much for that po, no? That idea, I got it from my other workshop in futures thinking. And I like very much po the concern as well. It could be related as well to policy because the LGUs are the one implementing the different policies. So maganda po yung focus on the chat box that we should really capacitate our LGUs so they would be also be our partner, our stewards as well. As mentioned by Ma'am Letty, we need stewards to work on organic agriculture. So ngayon po, as I am reviewing then yung ating particular Jamboard, we have categories on ecological concerns, on the different issues, policy, education, and economics.
Ma'am, pwede ko bang i-endorse na pagsalitaan natin si Alin Sangan? Siya kasi yung nag-head ng Coron Natural Farm sa Coron. I know what they are doing there, no?
Okay, may we give the floor to Sir Ali?
Al.
Al.
Alin Sangan.
Okay, Sir Al.
Yes, good morning everyone. I'm Al po from Coron Natural Farms. If I may add lang po, no, as I was listening, I don't know where we will categorize po yung isang major po na issue rin natin and challenge. Alam niyo po yung sa part na sinasabi ni Doc Letty sa education and awareness. Yung LGU po kasi may IEC component sila, no? Especially yung DA. Pero ano ba yung klaseng IEC na binibigay nilang drive when it comes to grassroots? And ang sa kanila ngayon, yung having the good and the recent information is making use of this, yung mga bagong fertilizers which are not organic, no? So di ba ito yung mga ini-endorse nila, no? Parang sa case ng medical experts, no, instead of giving natural na mga medicines, synthetic, no, hindi natural. So nakita ko doon sa aming community, sa aming paikot when we're practicing organic agriculture, no, pinagtatawanan kami. And yet yung sa kanila, kasi they are recipient, no, pag recipient ka ng mga complete, no, parang ang galing ng program ng government. And yet alam natin as practitioner, mas pinapatay nila yung lupa, no? Where in fact we're doing the reverse, no? I'm not an agriculture graduate, no, pero nung naintindihan ko yung kiss the ground, yung binabanggit kanina ni Doc Letty, ilang ulit ko siyang pinakinggan. Para pala siyang sa isang businessman, pag dumating ka sa point na nandoon na yung resource mo, yung capital mo, your money works for you, no? In our case, in agriculture, the land works for us. Kasi naiintindihan na natin yung ecosystem kasi mayaman na siya. 'Di ba? Kasi ngayon dahil nga yung lupa na pagyaman natin, na ibabalik natin yung regenerative agriculture is na ipapractice natin, organic farming, yun na practice, hindi natin kailangan yung mga inputs na to. Kasi alam natin yung basura, we can turn it into something as a significant and productive na resource. Di ba? So instead of buying, getting mga fertilizers, alam natin nandyan lang yan sa mga damo, sa mga dahon, nandyan lang yan sa mga worms. And instead of buying seeds, hybrid seeds, we know how to use and open pollinated na mga seeds, heirloom seeds, no? So lahat ito nandiyan na, lahat po nandito na siya. So sometimes no, iniisip natin pag nag-start ka ng farming, oh, hindi ako maka-start, wala akong seeds. Oh, hindi ako maka-start, mag-start ako, pangit yung lupa ko, wala akong fertilizers.
Okay.
So if we have this understanding of how rich no yung ecological, yung ecology natin, yung environment natin, how to use it. It's a matter of education actually. Kaya lang, anong klaseng education na binibigay ng LGU, ng LGUs or ng government, ng institutions in particular, no? Whether it's a school, no? Sometimes minsan even no, yung influence sa school is iba rin, no? Yung organic farming, baka tayo rin yung nag-lead astray doon sa kanila na dapat ito lang yung practices noon. Binago natin kasi may mga tinatawag tayong modern technologies pero it's bundled with using chemical fertilizers. Baka, no? Baka. So, yun po, no? I-add ko lang, hindi ko lang alam kung saan natin nilalagay po siya.
Okay, Sir Al, and that is very good. So I would like to request our documentation team, we place there as a social aspect. So our need for a paradigm shift for the appreciation, that is really the problem, no? The need to really have the paradigm shift to appreciate organic agriculture. And before we leave this particular, I have just 1 minute, I like to mention the concern of Sir Romel. We can put that in the economics. We should strengthen and support the marketing of their organic products as a factor to really enhance and boost nature positive production. And as such, we are really thanking everyone for this very engaging and active participation. And we hope that we will be giving justice in the presentation in the plenary. And with such particular short period of time, we thank everyone and all of our participants sharing your concern in the chat box. Rest assured that the program will be documenting this, and hopefully we can send you soon as the documentation proceedings of this particular e-dialogue. Again, I would be requesting later on, no, everyone to return to the plenary. But for the time being, I would just have to briefly give this synthesis that we had in our discussion. We have identified 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major issues, which are the ecological policy, the social, education limitation, and the economics that really limits for us realizing the boosting nature positive production. For the ecological, it is about all environmental degradation, climate change, okay? The threats on environment and biodiversity, the lack of appreciation on the soil health, that it is disrupting the life cycle on Earth, and even there is the occurrence of rapid erosion of agrobiodiversity and traditional system. On the policy side, we have the lack of support to the IPs. Thank you very much for really recognizing the marginalized sector of our population. So we need to also capacitate them so they would be an important stewards in boosting nature positive production. We also have the lack of regulation on GMO, okay? And there is also the limiting advocacy and empowerment side. Really, no, we are admitting this one. We have mature technologies, but how do we reach out our policymaker, the decision maker, that they really put in place policy to support this sustainable food production system? On the social side, we have the issue on tenure, landlessness. Population growth is really a problem, okay, as evidenced by the booming population globally. And this limits now the attainment of food security. Then we also have the requirement to shift to organic agriculture is not yet being realized. And likewise, on the social aspect, there is also the question on the sustainability of organic agriculture systems. Are we able to produce really the demands for our growing population? And we also have the education concern, lack of means of agricultural lands. We need to really have science-based organic management and practices. We know it's there, but how much really is the content of an FPJ? Okay, what is the nutrient content of the different organic-based inputs like the bokashi? And then we need to have a laymanized IEC to reach the grassroots. So sabi ko nga kanina ko, limitado ng Ingles at Filipino, yung lengguwahe natin sa ating bansa para mas maintindihan tayo ng ating mga kababayan pa, no? Because they are really stewards of our food systems. And then on the economic side, this one was mentioned earlier by Ma'am Weng, I think, through cost accounting, problem on productivity, there's really still the bias on conventional agriculture. And there is more investment, no, requirement in OA because we need to transition to organic agriculture from a conventionally accustomed agriculture, not only the land, the water, the air, but also as well our farmers. How would we encourage them? And there's also the problem on localizing food production. This is bringing the so-called farm to plate. And likewise, there is the limited investment. Ano ba nga ang pinupondohan ngayon ng ating mga, ng ating mga gobyerno? It's more of really yung ating conventional based agriculture. But we are here. The challenge is here, how we make them realize the importance to really provide research funds and channel these funds for prospering the science of organic agriculture. And then, as mentioned in the chat box, there's also the need to strengthen and support marketing. What we do with our production if no consumers would be buying it. So this one is the synthesis of our 1 hour discussion, and we would just be awaiting the particular time when our technical team will be returning us all to the plenary. Okay, congratulations everyone. Keep your spirits alive for this 11 a.m. I think we have 2 more sessions. So with that,
Doc Rose, while waiting, Sir Patrick Kabangbang would like our participants to fill up the forms in the chat box, and that would be needed for the synthesis later, because that is very important so that we can have basically a knowledge on who are the participants for today. That also will be used for the attendance as well. So,
okay, thank you very much for that gentle reminder. But I did not saw in the education. Can we place there with all the consent of our panelists making agriculture? Kasi ang ganda talaga nung usapan natin kanina. In fact, ako bilang tumatayo ngayong nanay sa aming kolehiyo, masakit sa loob ko. Lagi na lang nag-shift out of College of Agriculture and Food Science. So, yun lang po ang aking hiling. Kasi dapat talaga, ito yung sa education-wise, ma-emphasize din natin. And thank you all for bringing that up in the education aspect. While we are still waiting to be returned in the plenary session, I would like to read some of the information in the chat box. So from Sir Valiente, we are now in the process of revising the curriculum for agriculture for grades 4 to 10. We consulted Dr. Caleb to guide us on how organic agriculture should be articulated. Thank you very much po, and hopefully we will be translating these grade schoolers to champions of agricultures in UPLB, Sir Valiente, no? And from Ma'am Jennifer, she is sharing us a link wherein a number of research on the Philippine food systems from production to consumption and funding. Thank you very much po, Ma'am Jenny, for this information. So our colleagues, everyone in the private sector, we can download this, and we can even make collaboration. Ayan, wala pa tayo sa ating session number 2. We are already answering that particular Jamboard, no? May mga partnership na nabubuo. Okay. And I'm just going back, no? Sinabi na lang sana nila hanggang 11, more
May
pa
I say
tayo.
something?
Okay, Ma'am Jenny. Yes, Ma'am Jenny.
Yeah. Just for everyone's sake lang, kasi our organization is a privately funded, and we have been studying the food system since 2008. 17. For me personally, I've been involved in the global food system since 2012 yata, because I've advised like a global organization like World Chefs, like looking at the how to feed the planet of 10 billion has been around for the last 10 years at least that I know of. Kaya ang ginawa namin the last 2 years is to really focus sa Philippines on how can we truly create a sustainable food system that is equitable and accessible to all Filipinos. Kaya we did conduct like a real deep studies on the economics of the Philippine food system. So we published several reports from funding like microfinance, why microfinance is not really advisable for smallholder farmers. So marami po. So I'm not advertising us, but in a way it might help a lot kasi marami na yung background na ginawa namin as a whole food value chain. So just have a look at those research para faster to learn the whole food system. Okay, thank you.
Jenny, we would really be appreciating if really you could share the materials through the program. Marami po ang makikinabang yan. And in fact, that particular benchmark information is really needed, no, in establishing the partnership, because as sabi nga natin kanina, we need science-based empirical evidences to really push, no, the development of organic agriculture in the country. And with the wide range of partnership that you had and all of the participants here, a very positive, tangible strategy could be crafted this afternoon or later this session. Yun po yung ifa-facilitate din ulit namin mamaya. Okay? And some more while we are still waiting, there's a request for documentation purposes. May we request first everyone to turn on your videos for the photo documentation? Because there's already the notification on the right side, leave the room. Yan, dapat masunurin tayong lahat sa time. Okay, everyone? So who would be taking the picture po?
Po.
Hello? Dahil matagal, ay sige po, ako na. Meron po bang nagbo-volunteer?
Yes po, ako po si Lucel.
Okay, thank you. I heard you.
Yeah po, teka po. Okay. I have 2 pages.
Okay.
Dito. Okay, page 1, smile po, everyone. Second, ay wait lang.
Request po, baka pwedeng stop po muna mag-chat para hindi po matakpan yung iba. Thank you.
Okay. Napaka-active.
Page 1, smile. Page 2, smile. And last page po. I have 3 pages pala. Last page, smile. Okay, thank you po.
So again, our heartfelt thanks, but please keep your vibrant energy for our discussion. No, I do not know whether we are all ready to go to the plenary. Any of my colleagues, is there an advice? Kasi on my lower right, there's an indication, leave the room.
Session closes at 10:30 po.
So we have still 2 minutes. Who would like to have, okay, although I gave already a brief synthesis, who would like to still have some insights to be shared from our panelists?
Ma'am, This is Chris from DepEd. May I be recognized po?
Yes, Ma'am, Sir Chris for 1 minute and then Ma'am Letty for 1 minute.
I read the chat box and some of the queries are about how organic agriculture or environmental education is embedded in the K-12 curriculum. Actually po, DepEd has integrated the concepts of organic agriculture in the K-12 through the TLE learning area or the technology and livelihood education. Agriculture and fishery arts is one of the components of TLE alongside with ICT, home economics, and industrial arts. So as early as grade 4, learners are taught the basic concepts of planting, specifically planting ornamental plants and raising pet animals. For grade 5, we have vegetable planting, as well as poultry raising and tilapia raising. So in this grade level po, the concepts of organic agriculture is embedded, which tackles organic vegetable planting and organic chicken raising. So for grade 6 naman po, ang tinuturo naman po ay planting forest and fruit trees. And for animal raising in that grade level, raising swine and bangus, raising fishes such as bangus and hito are being taken. And the organic agriculture is also one of the specialized subject in the TLE. Pagdating po ng senior high, ang organic agriculture po, ang specialized subject po na ito ay naka-align na po sa TESDAS training regulation. And that's how we teach the concepts of organic agriculture in the K-12 curriculum. For environmental education naman po, naka-embed po ito sa learning areas ng ESP or edukasyon sa pagpapakatao na ang tawag po natin dati ay good manners and right conduct. And also, naka-embed din po ito sa curriculum ng science from grades 1 hanggang grade 10. I think that would be all po. Para sa lahat po ng nagtatanong, you may visit po the website of DepEd, www.deped.gov.ph para po ma-orient po tayo. Yun po ma'am at maraming salamat po.
For the information that we are really aligning our curriculum to the current needs of our nature boosting positive production. Ano po? So maraming salamat doon. Okay, Ma'am Letty, 1 minute po.
Oo. Dahil agriculture itong ating i-dialogue, it's all right na focus tayo sa organic agriculture, no? But I would like to overemphasize and re-emphasize importance of understanding the sustainability of biodiversity. Kasi in the process of agricultural procedures, kapag hindi maayos ang ating agricultural systems, ang tendency really is to be forgetful of the rest of the other forms of life, no? Isinumulan ko sa lupa, pero dapat maituloy-tuloy natin. Dapat at this point, wala na dapat forest na masisira, wala na dapat habitat, at ang mga nasirang habitat nasa process na ng restoration. Tapos yung mga agricultural systems natin napoprograma na para i-generate at ituro ang kahalagahan ng biodiversity, no? Ang biodiversity ay hindi lang po yung mga pinipili natin na multiple types of crops or multiple types of plants. It is everything about life. And I would believe that the understanding of biodiversity and valuing it at a very high level should start off even at the kinder level. Every child should know its own biodiversity, should be proud kung ano yung nakikita niya. Kilala niya si Haring Ibon at kilala niya si Tarsier at kilala niya si Crocodilus mindorensis na ipagmamalaki niya at ipaglalaban niya habang bata pa lang na dapat ang bahay ni Philippine Duck sa nauhan ay hindi dapat sisirain. Dapat ang bahay ni kakatu, red-vented kakatu na dati ay isang katerbang nasa rice fields ay nasa critically endangered. Dapat naiintindihan na to sa mga kwentong sasabihin natin sa ating mga maliliit na bata. I would like to encourage that these values on biodiversity enhancement, hindi okay lang agriculture grade 4 mataas na, pero understanding the role of each life in biodiversity should come from the very basic ages by which the child understand who he is in the world and what the other life systems are there, and be proud na ang Pilipinas ang pinakamayamang biodiversity country in all of the world. It is one of the smallest and yet it is by area the richest. Ang marine ecosystems natin is the epicenter of the center of marine biodiversity, and yet our children do not understand that. Pag naintindihan natin lahat yan, at lahat tayo ay mangangala